The humble 1-cent coin, often dismissed as insignificant, even tossed aside with a sigh of frustration when it clinks into your pocket. But what if I told you that this little piece of metal holds a much more fascinating story? Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the history, the value, and the surprising worth of the 1-cent coin. Most of us have held a 1-cent coin at some point, whether it was casually tossed into a jar or used to complete a payment. But have you ever stopped to think about how it came to be, or what it represents in the broader picture of currency? It's easy to overlook its significance, but in the world of money and economics, the 1-cent coin carries a weight that belies its size. Let's take a journey through time, explore its history, understand its current value, and uncover the surprising worth of these tiny coins in today's world. To understand the 1-cent coin, we need to rewind back to the early days of the United States. The very first U.S. 1-cent coin was minted in 1793, just a few years after the country's founding. At that time, the U.S. was still in its infancy, struggling to establish itself on the global stage. The first version was the chain cent, a coin featuring a chain of links on the reverse side. This coin was part of a series of copper coins designed to ease the shortage of smaller denominations in circulation. It wasn't a perfect coin, though. Many found the chain design to be awkward, and it was eventually replaced. Through the 19th century, the design of the 1-cent coin continued to evolve, with notable designs like the Liberty Cap and the Flying Eagle cent. Each coin reflected the artistic and political climate of the time, showcasing the U.S. as it grew and changed. In 1909, a landmark moment occurred in the history of the 1-cent coin, the introduction of the Lincoln cent designed by Victor David Brenner. This coin featured the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. It was the first time an American president appeared on regular coinage, and its introduction marked a pivotal moment in American numismatics. The 20th century saw further changes to the design, including the wartime 1943 steel penny, produced because of copper shortages during World War II, and the famous wheat design, which continued circulation until 1958. Each iteration of the coin tells a story of America's past, reflecting the country's evolving identity. Fast forward to today, and the 1-cent coin seems almost inconsequential. After all, in many parts of the world, you can't even buy a piece of candy or a postage stamp with just 1 penny. So, why do we still have it? Well, in the United States, the 1-cent coin remains in circulation, even though it costs more to produce than it's worth. As of 2025, it costs about 2.1 cents to mint a single penny. So why doesn't the U.S. simply stop producing them? The answer lies in tradition, public opinion, and economics. The cost to mint a penny has steadily risen over the years due to inflation, rising material costs, and the increasing complexity of coin production. But despite this, it's still considered important to maintain the penny in circulation, as removing it would cause ripple effects throughout the economy, particularly for small businesses and pricing systems. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. While the 1-cent coin may seem like pocket change today, there are certain pennies that can fetch an astonishing price in the world of coin collecting. And some rare 1-cent coins are worth more than their weight in gold. Take, for example, the 1943 copper penny. During World War II, the U.S. government switched from copper to steel for the production of pennies due to metal shortages. However, a small number of 1943 copper pennies were mistakenly minted before the switch. Today, those rare copper pennies can fetch upwards of $1 million at auction. Another valuable example is the 1909 SVDB penny, one of the rarest and most sought-after coins among collectors. The VDB initials of the designer, Victor David Brenner, were removed after public outcry in 1909, making the coins featuring the initials extremely rare. A single 1909 SVDB penny can sell for several $100,000, depending on its condition. Other rare 1-cent coins, like the 1877 Indian Head cent and the 1914 D. Lincoln cent, also command significant value in the market. In fact, certain 1-cent coins can fetch anywhere from a few thousand to millions of dollars at auctions, depending on their rarity, historical significance, and condition.so. What does the future hold for the 1-cent coin? Despite debates about its continued production, the penny still plays a role in American currency. While there are occasional calls to eliminate the penny due to its cost and diminishing purchasing power, it remains a part of the cultural and historical fabric of the United States. With digital payments and the rise of contactless transactions, we might one day see the penny phased out, but for now, it remains a small piece of history. Whether we love them or loathe them, pennies are part of the story of money in the U.S. So, the next time you reach into your pocket and pull out a penny, remember, it's not just a small piece of copper, nickel, and zinc. It's a tiny artifact of history, with a legacy that stretches all the way back to the birth of the United States. And who knows? That coin you're holding might just be worth more than you think. Let us know in the comments below if you have any rare pennies or if you think we should get rid of the 1-cent coin altogether. See you next time. Have you ever looked at a 1-cent coin and thought, this is just a penny, worth next to nothing? You're not alone. Most of us throw pennies into jars, toss them aside when we're out shopping, or even leave them behind in parking lots. But what if I told you that the 1-cent coin has a rich history, an unexpected value, and that some pennies are worth more than a small fortune? Today, we'll take a deep dive into the history, value, and surprising worth of the 1-cent coin. You may never look at a penny the same way again. Let's start at the beginning. The 1-cent coin, or penny as we know it today, has a fascinating history. Back in the late 18th century, after the United States won its independence, the country needed a currency system to reflect its new national identity. So, in 1792, the U.S. Mint was established, and just a year later, in 1793, the first 1-cent coin was minted. The first U.S. 1-cent coin was the chain cent, and it looked much different than what we use today. It featured a chain of links around the edge of the coin, representing unity. The reverse side showed a wreath. But this coin didn't last long. Its design was eventually replaced due to public criticism. It wasn't the only design to come and go in the early days of the penny. As the years went on, various other designs of the penny emerged. The Liberty Cap and Flying Eagle cents came next, each one reflecting the political and artistic climate of the times. These early pennies were mostly made of copper, and their designs, which ranged from the elegant to the symbolic, helped shape the image of U.S. coinage. In 1909, a major milestone occurred. The U.S. Mint introduced the Lincoln cent, designed by artist Victor David Brenner. This coin, which featured the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, became one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. It marked the first time a sitting president had ever appeared on U.S. coinage, and it's been in circulation ever since. During World War II, in 1943, the U.S. faced a shortage of copper, which was essential for the war effort. As a result, the U.S. Mint produced pennies made of steel, coated with zinc, making them lighter and cheaper to produce. These steel pennies were an anomaly and only circulated during that year, but they remain a rare and interesting part of U.S. numismatic history. Over the years, the design of the penny has continued to evolve, with changes in materials and design elements. In 1959, the penny was redesigned to show the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, a nod to the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. And in 2010, the penny was redesigned again, this time featuring a shield, symbolizing the strength and unity of the country. Fast forward to the present day, and the 1-cent coin is still with us. But it's not as valuable as it once was. In fact, in today's economy, a penny doesn't buy much. A single penny can't even purchase a postage stamp or a piece of gum, and in many countries, pennies are no longer even in circulation. So what gives? Why do we still have the penny in the United States when it seems to be losing its relevance? Well, here's the twist. It costs more to make a penny than it's worth. As of 2025, the cost to produce a 1-cent coin is approximately 2.1 cents, which means the U.S. Mint actually loses money every time it produces a penny. This discrepancy has led many to question the continued production of pennies. But despite these costs, There are a few reasons why the penny is still with us. Point one reason is that the penny plays a small but significant role in rounding prices for consumers, especially in cash transactions. Additionally, some small businesses argue that eliminating pennies could complicate pricing systems, especially when it comes to making exact change. But beyond these practical reasons, there's also an emotional attachment to the penny. Many people view the penny as part of the fabric of American culture. And for some, even though it's small and seemingly insignificant, the penny represents a piece of history, something that shouldn't be discarded so easily. Now, let's talk about the real value of the penny. While most pennies you find in your pocket are worth exactly 1 cent, there are certain rare pennies that can be worth tens, hundreds, or even millions of dollars. It turns out that in the world of coin collecting, the 1-cent coin is far more valuable than its face value. Take, for example, the 1943 copper penny. As I mentioned earlier, most 1943 pennies were made of steel due to wartime copper shortages. But a small number of copper pennies were accidentally struck in 1943, and today, they are considered one of the rarest and most valuable coins in existence. These pennies can fetch upwards of $1 million at auction. Another famous example is the 1909 SVDB penny. This coin, minted in San Francisco, features the initials VDB of the coin's designer, Victor David Brenner, on the reverse side. These initials were removed after public outcry, making the 1909 SVDB pennies incredibly rare. Today, they can sell for anywhere from $100,000 to $1 million, depending on the condition of the coin. Let's not forget the 1914 D Lincoln cent, another coin that commands a high value in the collector's market. This coin, minted in Denver, is rare due to the limited number produced that year. A well-preserved 1914 D penny could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. There are other valuable pennies too, like the 1877 Indian head cent, and even more modern rarities that can make a significant difference to collectors. So while most pennies might not buy you much at the store, certain pennies could make you a millionaire. So what's next for the penny? Will it disappear, or will it continue to hold on for dear life in an increasingly cashless society? As we continue to shift toward digital payments and online transactions, the role of physical money, especially small denominations like the penny, becomes less critical. Some experts predict that the penny will eventually be phased out, especially as more people adopt credit cards, smartphones, and digital wallets for their day-to-day purchases. But even if we move away from physical coins, the penny will likely continue to be a part of American history for years to come. It's a symbol of our nation's past, and despite its diminishing use, it still holds a place in our collective memory. The next time you find yourself with a penny in your hand, take a moment to think about all it represents. From its humble beginnings in 1793 to the rare, million-dollar coins circulating today, the 1-cent coin is far more than just pocket change. It's a reminder of our nation's history, our growth as a society, and even our changing relationship with money. So, what do you think? Should the penny be phased out, or should we keep it around? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the fascinating world of currency and history. Until next time, keep on collecting those pennies. Who knows what you might find?